what is going on, fellow YouTubers? We're back at it with another video. And we got a video response. More classic mistakes men make. Pop culture. So yes, we got a Terrence Pop video response. Now, we'll give it a go, shall we? More classic mistakes men make. Pop culture. Terrence Pop.
Oh, I didn't see you there. I thought you were done staring at my ugly mug, so I brought you this one. I'm not even going to try to say the company name that makes this because y'all know I'm as dyslexic as hell. But you can check the links in the description and buy one for yourself. Patriarchy, building civilization for 5,000 years.
Holy shit.
And counting. If you want to drink deeply from a cup of expendability, well, this is a good start.
And speaking of badass cups, you want one that doesn't break? You want a badass cup? I'll plug a badass cup in the description box. Yeah? Give me a second. Log into the essentials. It's the Cobra Craft handmade wands cup. Great for wines and water and such. But if you want one with the cult symbol on it, we got one of those too. Yes, we freaking do. Great for those frosty beers or whatever the fuck you're drinking. Hoo-wee. And as always, if you'd like to contribute a couple bucks to the channel, you don't have to, but it's greatly appreciated. It goes towards the quality of the video, yes. People are super pissed that the phone still doesn't produce quality sound. The way I see it, I can still talk and text with it, so I don't need a new phone. I primarily use the phone for communication, and it communicates just fine. So if there was like no sound on the cooking videos completely, I'd be a bit more inclined. But it is what it is. Needless to say, like that cooking video kicked ass. Working on some Terrence Pop video response action and, of course, some vocals.
Did I say expendability? I meant to say truth. What up, you monk mode militants? Terrence Pop here at Darkulus.com. And returning from the delectable depths of Debbie's dick disseminator, I'm Toxic Man. Bad Pop showed up today because I said it before and I will say it again. We men, we're creatures of habit and we are stupid.
Hey. To sit there and say that men are creatures of habits, we can be, and women can be creatures of habit too. You know, she can't seem to find just the right guy. Every guy she dates is a freaking asshole. Instead of breaking that cycle of dating assholes, and maybe she find a nice guy to treat her right. Women can be creatures of habit too, especially when it's that time of the month. I'm just kidding. That's We're not going to be making jokes like that in my video. Got me a roll of quarters. And, well, I'm doing some laundry after a bit. So, but more classic mistakes men make, pop culture. Well, sometimes the older man has advice that you should listen to, but when you're a young, stubborn buck, you don't want to listen to the older males when they're like, yeah, you shouldn't do that kind of thing. And you think you know everything. Believe me, women do this crap too. And you start to get to the age where you appreciate the advice that you were given, and if you don't use it, you'll lose it.
What are you gonna do? If you go way, way back to the first year we ran this show, you'll check out one of our episodes called Classic Mistakes Men Make. You get caught smelling your finger. Look, you dip the stick, you want to know how the oil is? You want to know. That's how it works. You get caught doing that, you're going to get chastised. It's going to cause some problems. But listen, ladies, all men do it, okay? They might say they don't, but they're lying to you. They do it. I know they do. All of them, 100%.
Yep.
It's been 7 years since we made that last video, and quite literally, I'm a different person. No, seriously. The cells in your body, except for those that I'm killing right now, they replace themselves over the course of 7 years. Now, I might look the same, except I'm a little fatter, but
The occasional hot chick between each, but oh my god, gravy, dude, ridiculous.
I'm different, and I love you. So it is time to expand upon that wisdom. A little fatter, but I'm different, and I love you. So it is time to expand upon that wisdom with a sequel. So pour yourself one menagerie, no, 2 menageries, because this episode would not be possible without your input. Thanks to your comments and feedback, we have 20 more classic mistakes men make. Because we're stupid. No, really, we are. And if you did any of these, you know the rules. You got to drink with me, bitches. Hope.
I grabbed a can of Angry Orchard to do a video response with, and I'm like, this is a lot of topic. Cover, roll of quarters to do some laundry, and we're just making it happen. There we are, best we can. But the generalization of us men can be stupid because we think with our dick and not the head on our shoulders. And that is true to some extent, but what happens when you start thinking with your dick 9 times out of 10? It leads to a lot of really bad places. So this is the best advice I could give any younger man. Stop thinking with your dick and start thinking with the head on your shoulders. Most of you out there are smart enough to figure it out. You just gotta use your thinking meat.
Hopefully, and I'm not guaranteeing you this, We'll all still be conscious by the end, and we may or may not need an ID. But in the event I should pass out, toxic male, he'll take over for me. I don't know about that, Pop. I didn't become toxic male by using a rubber every time. Point taken. Let us begin.
Ugh, I hate Tinder too. The only time I got lucky was with this one guy. He was one of the good ones. And why was he on Tinder? Crazy, right?
Am I seriously getting an ad for dating while watching this video? Fucking lame. The sooner you realize, fellas, that you don't need sex to be happy, that everyone, both women and men, die alone, regardless if you have a companion or not. And it could be more painful either way you shape it. It just depends on how you look at it, I guess. The sooner you realize it doesn't matter if you get married or find the right one, the outcome is still the same. And when you realize that we all die alone in the end anyways, you start to think, rejection hurts a little less. Especially when you know that if you're someone like me who's 5'9", 6 feet tall and has a lot of attractive qualities that adult women look for. All of a sudden you're like, they're lost, not mine. And why, when I see this ad, I'm like, it's the most cliche ad they could possibly muster. Of course, it's a woman struggling with the dating scene. Ew. I mean, essentially, to some degree, women and men both struggle with the dating scene and the same issues as adults. And that's when you see it happen. You might see a chick who's had the worst experiences with men, doesn't trust them. And you see a dude who hasn't had the best experiences either. And when they get together, one of two things will happen. One, like it always seems to do, they won't trust each other and it'll continue to be a shitty dating scene. Both sides will be unhappy. Sounds like a lot of people, right? Excuse me. Love stinks. Excuse me, I farted. But then lo and behold, can go the other way. They both relate to what each other are saying. They're like, dude, I feel that my ex, blah, 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 blah. Right? My ex too, blah, 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 blah. And then they start looking at each other like, hey, here's someone who gets me. And then that's all it takes. That and physical attraction. Yeah, how many chicks had pictures of Twilight and freaking Zac Efron hanging up in their lockers in high school? But the second a dude would put up a picture of Kim Kardashian, all of a sudden he's setting unrealistic body standards and he's a typical male pig. I'm like, excuse me, with that hypocrisy. Women are just afraid to admit that they can be just as shallow as men. Some aren't, some are. And it's the one truth that makes a lot of people feel very uncomfortable. Just like women can be just as tough as men, or men can be just as emotional as women. It's that thing that kind of makes you go, well, that just makes you think.
He seemed to just know me better than I knew myself.
Okay, so what the fuck is this ad even? Like, Jesus Christ. You're starting off like you found this guy you really like. Where'd you fuck up, sweetheart? Did you get too clingy at the wrong time? We've all done that.
Oh, it was really hot. And I kept asking him why he was always like one step ahead of me. And he would never tell me. And then 2 weeks ago, he fessed up. And it was because of a video he saw right here. And I was like, no way. And then he showed me the video. And oh my God, all I could say is you have to watch this.
Hey, my name's Christian. And one more warning, if you're a woman, this presentation is going to make you uncomfortable because the discoveries I'm going to share about what women want, what they secretly crave, are really...
Oh my fucking God. These videos are the biggest crock of crap because women will never tell you what they secretly crave. They want you to guess. That's part of their devious plan. And I'm not trying to pick on women, but that's the goddamn truth because just like men, their opinions change. 1 minute they want strawberry ice cream, the next minute they want chocolate. But if they just happen to be on their time of the month and you go to the store to get them some strawberry ice cream and their phone's dead so they're waiting for it to charge, they didn't text you, they wanted chocolate instead, you come back with strawberry, they throw it at you and say you're a piece of shit because you won't pay attention to their needs. And you're supposed to sit there and go, there's a crazy lady throwing ice cream at me, and I'm supposed to just sit here and calmly say, babe, it's okay, you're beautiful. No, honey, no, stop. Those other women, no, fuck those other women, you're beautiful. I know so-and-so looks like a slut with her hair. I know. What's hurting? You want foot rubs? I mean, let's be honest, fellas. At the end of the fucking day, if you had to deal with periods, you would fucking hate it too. So, sympathy and understanding, even though you cannot fully understand what they go through because you are a man. Just like women cannot understand what you go through because they are a woman. A lot of women might miscommunicate because they're afraid their demands might be too much or they think the guy just doesn't care. You know, like I said in the last live stream, women love assholes until they complain about them. And then you realize that you don't need assholes to get yourself some good dick, honey. You really don't. And women can command an army of men without even offering them something as simple as a titty squeeze, and that's just the power women can have over men. And you can get pissed at it, fellas, or you can respect it. You know what I'm saying? I'd choose to respect it, to be honest. There are some men who are willing to do just about anything to get laid. This super hot chick on the other side says, I'll let you fuck me, but you gotta walk over this pit. You see the pit, it's rusty nails, hot coals, and broken glass. Like, well, you might risk getting tetanus and feet infections, but hey, that super hot babe on the other side wants to fuck you, so how manly are you really? Kind of thing. And then it becomes this contest where men have to out-stupid each other. Women do the same thing, it's just they're more catty with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like men will put themselves in danger to impress women, and women are sitting there going, this guy's a fucking idiot. You know, you hear the song I Need a Hero by Bonnie Clyde or Taylor or whatever. You know the chick, you know the song I'm talking about. Now it's in your head. That's what chicks want. He's got to be strong. He's got to be bad. He's got to be fresh from the fight. She needs a hero. Someone strong to hold her through the night. That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Women want to feel safe and secure, trusted and loved and appreciated. Just the same as men do when it comes to relationships.
Yeah, we're going to start off here with a list.
So, more classic mistakes men make. Now, if a chick were talking like this, I'd probably have a laugh at it. Well, if you're smart enough to pay attention, I tell you the videos I'm responding to in the video. More classic mistakes men make. Pop culture. It's Terrence Pops, one of his newest or newer videos. Now, as a woman saying this crap, you probably be like, okay, this ought to be fun. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? But with a man saying it, you're less inclined to be offended by it as a man because that's just how it is.
Some non-relation shit mistakes. And this first one. And we've all done it hoping for a little bit of something, if you know what I mean. Loaning a woman money. you gave it to her, you just don't know it yet. If you were foolish enough to hand over the cash without ever touching the cash, you have made a classic mistake.
Oh boy. If you were foolish enough to hand over the cash without seeing that pink taco gash, you made a classic mistake. I mean, why does it always have to be about sex? You know what I'm saying? No, I'm serious. Like, having a female friend in your arsenal of friends is good for men. If you go to the bar with your female friend and a couple of dude friends and their female friends, and everyone's just having a good time hanging out, and you see a cute chick at the bar you want to talk to, but you're too scared to do it, your female friend comes in and says, I got you. Just the same as you would do for her if she saw a guy she liked, but she was too scared, to talk to him and such. And it doesn't matter if you're having sex or not. At the end of the day, it's still an exchange. I got a female friend who has a car, for instance. I'm going to offer some gas money if I got it, because I know how that shit is. That's going to suck, being low on gas, and a couple bucks here and there, it never hurts no one, no how. Especially if they're offering you a ride somewhere. It's just a common thing called courtesy. This idea that, oh yes, you gave a woman money without getting laid, you're a simp. Yeah.
Anytime you loan a succubus money, you better take your interest and penalties up front. You know what I mean, huh?
Otherwise, that money is going down the toilet, right alongside the condom she bought with your money for the dude she's banging in the apartment that you just paid for.
That is so mean.
Next one.
The truth of it is, YouTube, and I hate to be like this, quite literally, there are people out there who are toxic for each other. And women and men have privilege and victimhood in our society, which allows them to do the things they do. Or in some areas of this privilege versus victimhood argument, women seem to have more privilege in certain areas and vice versa. And both sides are sick of it, so both sides bitch about it, but neither one wants to fucking change it. So you're kind of sitting there at this point scratching your nuts going, well, it's kind of stupid to bitch about the problem while contributing to it. Like sitting there saying you're sick of having cancer and then you light up a fucking cigar. I mean, fuck off.
On the list, and we've all done this, especially when we were young and we were thinking with the much too small little head. That head is far too small to do any quality thinking, and it has a hole in the top where all the bad decisions come out, mistaking niceness or politeness for sexual attraction.
Ah, boy. That one is too true, YouTube. There are men who mistake politeness for sexual interest. That is a big problem with men. She's just trying to be polite so you don't call her names, and it becomes a whole fight about gender. And he's just trying to get some, so he misinterprets everything. Fuck that. It's kind of like when women misinterpret a good deed for you just trying to get down the pants kind of thing. Men do this crap too. They'll mistake politeness for sexual interest. And women do it too. And to be fair, it's because there are some scumfucks who are super polite to women just because they want a little bit of that sugar wall. It's different if you're doing it because you genuinely care and you want to show women that, hey, not all guys are scumfucks. You're doing it for the right reasons. But if you're doing it because you want to get laid, I'm like, bro, I get that you want to get laid, but you got to be smoother and nicer about it. You know what I'm saying? We got to break this mold that women love assholes kind of thing, right?
Ladies, you think you're being nice to us, but when we're young,
ridiculous. The chicks he posts for that segment, ridiculous.
and dick thinking, we really don't know the difference. Nope.
And that is a very fair but unfortunate point. Is quite honestly, there are some men who truly don't know the difference, YouTube. They're told simple things like, well, if you want to lay with a woman, you got to be nice to her because she ain't going to lay with an asshole. But then they're told women love assholes. So we're sent mixed signals. Which then in turn causes women to give mixed signals. Oh, we could sit here and have a whole goddamn argument about that shit, about how women are allowed to have standards, but men are allowed to have sex, and that kind of, without being judgment sort of thing, screws both sides.
Walking down the hall and some hot blonde walks by and says hello. You're like, ah, yeah, I guess she wants to get to know me better. Not. Next thing you know, you're...
Well, and women are aware of this power they have over men. If they're just being polite and friendly, they know they can use that to get what they want. All she has to do is slightly touch her hand on his arm. Oh, you're just the sweetest. And that guy's thinking, oh, she likes me. Yeah. It's a woman's way of casually showing she appreciates your company, but she might not be fully interested, but she digs you in some way. In some way. It doesn't mean she wants to fuck you right then and there. You gotta keep it cool. Cool cobras, you know what I'm saying? A cobra in the wild is not going to waste its venom on useless shit, because then when it actually needs it, what are you gonna do then? Dating is no different. Why waste your time, which is your venom, with people who don't deserve it? It's just, regardless if you're dating or not, it's that cobra mentality.
You're getting your ass beat or you're getting assessed a 15-yard penalty for encroachment. I made a whole video about it. Links in the description.
Well, and this is in defense of men, to be honest. Women expect us to make the first move, but as soon as we do, after a bit, yes. Women will sit there and expect us to make the first move, but as soon as we do, we're being too aggressive. And you're just the epitome of rape and this and that. You can't expect men to make the first move and then get pissed off when we do. It just, I'm sorry, ladies. I love y'all, but it just doesn't work like that.
As we go along here, you're going to see a common theme. Most of the stuff we talk about has something to do with shagnanigans.
Yeah, I like how he called it shagnanigans. That made me laugh. Man, shag nasty shit, hell.
That brings us to lucky number 3. Booty calls when you're drunk, and we've all done it. Drink with me. This is how you find yourself in a situation with a coyote woman.
What the hell did you just say?
Now, I was supposed to say coyote ugly.
Hey, sometimes women are in that predicament too, man. The guy you're with ain't the prettiest, but they'll treat you right. All right. 1 second, YouTube. I'll be right back. We're doing great things on this channel, YouTube. You want to see me working on the the album? We'll get to it.
But if you didn't get the memo, I have dyslexia and brain damage. Now I wish I could use that excuse to explain away some of the phone calls I made after 2 a.m. But I never lie to you, Screen 5. We've all done it, but please do me a favor. Keep that shit to a minimum, because when you're drunk, logic and reason out the window, along with your scruples and self-control. It doesn't matter if she's a flapper or a spinner. She breathes in your ear, gonna be. And guess what? The floodgates are open. That's how you win the child support sweepstakes, along with a free DNA test. Not.
It's not really a joke.
I disagree. I find it hilarious.
Yeah, regrettably, sometimes when you're drunk, you make really dumb decisions. But here's the thing of it. You know, if you're lonely and you got someone who's willing to with you, and they're old enough and it's consensual, hey, sometimes beggars can't be choosers. But don't let that be your standard for dating. That's all I'm saying. You gotta have some self-respect. That's just because one side has gender standards and you have them, but you're the pig and they're not for having them. Don't let that infuriate you. Just acknowledge the hypocrisy for what it is, but at the same time ignore it and be like, you know what? Everyone's got standards, so who cares?
And number 4, and this one's very common for guys who make those calls after 2 a.m., making direct deposits to the warehouse, but only during casual shenanigans, or otherwise known as friends with benefits. And you'll be paying those benefits for the next 18 to 21 years.
Which is why I say you should not have friends with benefits. You know, you should only have relations of a sexual nature unless you are adults, it's consensual, and you're in a committed relationship. I say this because this is how a lot of people end up getting hurt. And I don't mean like just mistakes wise, but if you're one of those guys that's just had so many women rip his heart out, whatever, and so you fuck a bunch of chicks to get over it, you're gonna find that one chick that the sex is amazing, you have a conversation with them, and they're perfect for you, but because of the lifestyle you're living, you're not allowed to date her. She's actually someone else's bae thing, and their relationship's complicated, so now you're just sitting there going, well, shit.
Depending upon the state you're in, and you're wondering, how could this happen?
It was just a casual thing. We weren't catching feelings or anything.
Bad news, gentlemen.
And bad news, anyone in general, but as an adult, when you have sex with another adult, you're gonna catch feelings in some way, shape, or form, whether you like it or not. You're giving a part of yourself over to someone else.
Just made classic mistake number 5. You trusted without verifying. Ha ha, you idiots. Now,
Women do it too. With a, you know what I'm saying?
dudes, we've all been there. And we all justify it the same way.
It's not like that. We're just casual and she's honest with me. Get out of here!
Yeah, women do this crap too. They'll pursue a relationship with a man because of his verified bullshit that he spews. And then a couple of months after dating that asshole, you realize he's not the same person you went out with, and now you're stuck in a miserable relationship and you have no way to get out. Because you think, one, you can't do better, you've been suckered into that crap relationship. A lot of people who are in abusive relationships feel like they're trapped, they can't do any better, they're not good enough for a real person who will treat them right. And that's horse crap. That is the kind of control that abusive fucks put on people in toxic relationships. And that's not healthy, man. And here's the thing of it, YouTube. At the end of the day, you're going to be cock blocking yourselves on top of treating people like shit. If you use people for sex and money, it'll bite you in the ass in the end. You're going to be sitting there, you're going to find the one person you want to be with, and they're not going to be yours because of the way you treated others in the past. And you're going to be going, it ain't fair. But then you look back on it and you'll be like, well, that's karma, man.
It doesn't matter if you think it's casual. If she's asking for direct deposits into the sperm bank, it is not casual. And that is just...
Well, maybe that's her kink. I mean, women and men as adults have their kinks, and that's what makes them unique. Within reason.
Just one example. We've all trusted without verifying in many different ways.
It's okay. You can leave it in. I'm on the pill. I swear, my STD panel is completely clean.
Yeah, there are some real pieces of shit women out there who say, it's okay, I'm on the pill. You can splooge inside, whatever, right? And then guys do it like the schmucks they are, and then she gets pregnant and then sues his ass for child custody, and then she's pretty much taking the rest of his paycheck for at least 18 years. But then you want a bitch when your gender is allowed to have body standards. Yeah, it's pretty shitty on both sides. I'm not going to sit here and pick on women because the whole body shaming bullshit pisses me off, to be honest. There are a lot of good people out there who can't help the way they look, just like the rest of us. You can't help the way you look. You're born a certain way. And lo and behold, you got people saying you don't look right. Fuck them and fuck their opinion. But when that kind of shit happens, nobody talks about it, how, well, she'll put herself through 9 months of pain and misery just to say, oh, hey, look, you got one up on the boys.
You see what he did there?
I know you're wondering, Pop, why? Why does this all happen? Well, you can boil it down to one thing. Mistake number 6, treating an unpaid pro like a lady. And yes, pro is the new acronym.
You know what? Treating a slut like she's a lady, you know what? Maybe she's been degraded so much that that's what she's come to expect. All puns not intended. And last time I checked, men get told, well, you gotta treat a woman like a lady only if she treats you with respect, because respect is a two-way street. At the same time, even if she doesn't treat you with respect, as a man, what can you do in that situation? Jack shit. So you're respectful to women regardless of how they treat you. That's not called simping, that's called being a gentleman. And at the end of the day, it sucks when you ain't got no one to fuck and cuddle with, but at least you can sleep better at night knowing you're not a piece of shit like all these other guys out there. And you ever think that maybe the reason why half the time women are slutty is because they crave cock as much as men crave pussy, and that scares men and society? And the other half is because they've been treated in such a way that that's all they're used to. So the thought of a gentleman sweeping them off their feet and treating them like a real woman shocks them.
Pleasure reciprocating orifice, screen 5. When you treat an unpaid pro like a lady.
Yeah, calling her a pro, huh? Because she's a pro at what she does. I hate the term simp, sucker idolizing mediocre pussy. Just because he tries to be nice doesn't mean he's idolizing her. And shit, you think, like seriously, what's wrong with trying to find your other half where you idolize each other? This idea that women can't find a man that idolizes her because that makes her a greedy slut, or if a man tries to find a woman that he can idolize, he's just simping. It's ridiculous. And at the end of the fucking day, it's 50-50. You know what I'm saying?
Guess what you are? A simp. Oh, just got kicked off Twitch. Bummer. Because they know they're not a lady. And when you treat them like one, they do not respect you.
What? Pay her car note and her rent?
You know why slutty women will not respect you if you treat them like a lady? It's because they're used to being treated like sluts. They're not used to a gentleman being nice to them. So it kind of shocks them a little bit that they're used to being treated like sex objects. Then a man being a real man and treating them with respect and dignity. How would you treat yourself, kind of thing? A lot of men think, oh yeah, if a woman treated you like a sex object, you'd love it. Bullshit. At the end of the day, if you called your woman over and said, hey, you want to grab a beer, some steaks, you don't give a fuck about getting laid. You just want to spend time with your gal pal. And if there was no sex on the table, she wasn't interested, you would feel used and abused and unappreciated. Fellas, don't lie to me.
And maybe keep the electricity on. She'll let me hit it.
No! No. You're keeping the lights on and the heat on so someone else could show up and hit it. Get that through your head. No, not that one. This one, because she'll ignore that one.
If you're in that situation where you have a female friend who quite literally just sits there and takes advantage of you and your money situation to get further in life with their own situation, and she don't appreciate what you're laying down, keep doing your thing, man, because one day you're going to find a chick who does appreciate it, and the one who didn't appreciate it's going to get jealous. Screen 5. You know what I'm saying? So while you may get called a simp for trying your best to be a real man and make friends, at the end of the fucking day, there's going to be a chick out there who's close to your age, who's old enough for you, who will appreciate what you're doing for the other chick, and she'll go, you know what? She doesn't appreciate what you do for her. Hang out with me for a bit. And you lay down what you're laying down for the other chick, And then you get yourself a girlfriend who's like 4 times harder than the one you're trying to go after, which then makes the chick that you were originally going after super jealous, and she goes, you know what, I should have given the other person a chance. At that point, all you can say is, you're lost, not mine.
Oh, lucky number 7. This one is still a non-relationship mistake, but the relationship in this case is not yours. Trying to be friends with your buddies, slot C.
Okay, slot C's a bit degrading, but trying to be friends with your buddy's woman. Honestly, if you're friends with a chick, it is much easier as a dude to be friends with her boyfriend. Am I right, fellas? Even though her boyfriend is a complete douche rocket sponge, wishy-washy piece of shit that completely takes advantage of her, and to some degree, you're told to just stay out of her relationships. But if any girl fucks with you, by golly, she's going to have something to say about it. But even if she's not physically attracted to you, there are still feelings there, and that's the bitch of it, YouTube. Because now you may be asking yourself, what's the difference, Cobra? If you're a dude and you're friends with your female friend's boyfriend, what's the difference? Well, if you also have feelings for that female friend and you see the boyfriend she has is no good for her, all you can do is just stay the fuck out of it. Trust me. People are stubborn. Just stay the fuck out of it. I'm giving you all some solid ass fucking advice for these metaphorical situations. You just stay the fuck out of it and let nature and time run its course. But the flip side to that argument,
I understand the temptation to do this, but it has the potential to blow up in your face and not in a good way. The first time she comes to you for advice, what?
Yep, that right there. Now, if you just happen to be friends with her husband or her boyfriend, but you and her boyfriend / husband have been friends since high school, and this chick comes to you and says, oh, hey, me and the other half are having issues. Now, this is what separates women from men. There are some men who will be like, you know what? I'm not getting involved in this. Just back away and be like, okay, y'all need to see a relationship counselor. Because your male friend will tell you shit in secret, like, hey, don't tell the other half I said this. Sometimes couples just need that one person they can vent to, and they're not going to say shit to the other half about it. It's good for people. And even though you'll see your female friend bitch about the person they're with one night and then stupidly get back together with them the next couple of nights, I'm like, you know what? That's on you. Intervening is not going to work. You have to let them see their own mistakes. But that's the kind of thing that conflicts you is, you know what I'm saying? You want to be friends to that woman, but at the same time, if you've known that dude since you all were in high school, and you know, and y'all been through some shit together as homies, you know what I'm saying? This is what separates women from men, however. If you try to be friends with your best friend's woman, and she just happens to be friends with your woman, you may think to yourself, "Oh, that'll work out just dandy." No. Because anything you tell your woman, if she feels insecure about it, she'll tell her female friend, which is also your friend. Instead of telling each other this shit in the first place, you'll end up finding out from one of her bitchy ass friends. And that's like the worst way to find out, fellas, am I right? Yeah. You know, I'm not trying to be a dick, but your woman says you have communication issues. She won't tell you shit, but she'll tell the chick that she's friends with, who just happens to be the wife of your best friend. And she tells him shit, and he tells you shit. It's like, okay, why not just talk to each other? At the end of the day, couples do not need marriage counselors. You are each other's best counselor. But that requires the patience and the time to say, you know what, we're both human in this situation. We're both struggling with the same issues to some degree. So that being said, work through it together as people. You know what I'm saying? Like, simply going, "Hey babe, how was your day?" versus spending $200 an hour to talk to some fucking marriage counselor. You know, and if your other half is going, "Hey, you know what, they're taking time to hear about my day," they might return the favor. And once you both have vented to each other about how shitty your day was, you both feel a little bit better and you have each other to confide in. That's just how it should be. But instead, you're going to, you know what I'm saying? At this point, if you're hiring someone else, because that's essentially what you're doing, even if you're not paying them for their time, if you're going to confide someone else about you and your other half's bullshit, then you might as well hire a fucking marriage or relationship counselor. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how frustrating it is when your other half is pissed at you because, of course, you're siding with the dude you've known since high school. But because you want the pussy, you're going to side with your wife. And the other man in that situation feels the same way about his wife. He's just looking at you like, "Hey man, we're both dudes in this situation. Our ladies are fighting over something stupid. I don't want beef with you. You don't want beef with me." But meanwhile, the women that are fighting are going, "I hate you. You're a little bitch. Oh, you're so tacky." I'm like, you know what? And at that point, you have to go, you know what? You say to your wife, you says to her, "We're not going to let their shit affect our relationship." That she should be smart enough to say the same damn thing. I've said it before on my channel. I'll say it again. If you let someone else's relationship issues start affecting your own personal relationship with your other half, that's not healthy. You're not even having a fight. You're not even having a fight about your own issues. You're fighting about someone else's issues. What the
When they're having a tiff, you need to set it down, bow out, and back away. Don't.
That's the best course of action to do. And you know what I'm saying? Unless you're qualified to do it. I mean, dude, my best advice to anyone in these situations is try to see things from their perspective. People will hit me up on social media and go, "Cobra, I want your relationship advice." The experiences to other people are sometimes the best experiences. They teach you what not to do with your own relationship issues. And learning through other people's mistakes can be quite rewarding. You learn not to make the same mistakes without actually making them.
even do it. Believe it or not, that is the most supportive thing you can do for your buddy. If you stick your neck out and...
Yeah, exactly. The best thing you can do for that couple is be like, hey, look, if you're going to come to me for advice, you're the relationship counselor. Okay. Dragging me, I'm not Dr. Phil. Quit dragging me into this bitch.
That relationship ends, which most of them do, guess who's going to wind up in the crosshairs of blame? Because this is...
Men are the ones that get blamed for everything. When relationships end, it could have been a contribution from both sides. But at the end of the day, men get blamed for everything. And in a woman's defense, they've had to face centuries of oppression. They've only been radicalized and given rights in the last 50, 60 plus years versus hundreds, if not thousands of years of facing oppression. You know, nature starts out with women bearing birth to children and men being protective of their home and hunting, gathering, women gathering berries and nuts close to the campsite, that kind of thing. And it progresses that way pretty much for a long time until technology starts to evolve and women are not able to do their own thing and hunt and gather while the men stay home and tend to their kids. And there ain't nothing wrong with that, but the thing that gets me is if you're a stay-at-home dad, you're seen as a loser who can't get a job. But if you're a woman who does it, no one questions it. And the fucking hypocrisy and sexism of it's enough to make your head spin.
It's a completely emotional situation, not a logical one. It doesn't matter how logical you are. You have two people over here fucking each other. And you know what? If you get involved, that's case sexual witness, Space Ghost. And with that being said, we are moving on to the relationship mistakes. And yes, that relationship is yours. But before we get into that, I want to talk about our relationship. There's going to be some changes around here. And I think you're going to like them. So please go to redonkulous.com/donate. You're going to get some exclusive content, some wallpapers for your phone, and you're going to get some outtakes from when we film. Because believe...
Sweet. I have $11.10 in the PayPal. I appreciate that. Thank you for sending $11.10 to my PayPal. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and transfer that to the old account. That'll keep my account from going in the negative. Freaking sweet. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Back to the video response.
Believe it or not, once the alcohol flows, it gets quite lively up in here. Relationship mistake number 1. Allowing her to call you at work.
Yes. This is one of those, you're thinking with your dipstick and not the one on your head right here kind of thing. You're so committed to hitting that pussy and tapping it and getting it that men will make this mistake. Oh, babe, you can call me at work anytime. It doesn't matter. And what if it's something stupid like, okay, your dog crapped in the house, so put it outside on the leash so it craps outside. She doesn't want to pick up the dog poop, so she'll save it for you to pick up. You come home from a long day at work and there's dog shit on the floor. And you don't know what you're more annoyed at, the dog for pooping in the house or your girlfriend for being lazy and not picking it up. Not saying it's her job to pick it up, but If you're at work working a 9 to 5 and your girlfriend's at home having the day off from her job and it's her job to babysit the dog, knowing that if it's the other way around, you're picking it up regardless. Sounds like you're more committed to owning that dog than she is. Oh.
Now, on its surface, this sounds completely innocent, but it's not. It's okay. You can call me at work no matter what you need. It can't possibly backfire. Next thing you know, you're having a fight with her on the phone while you're getting yelled at by your boss.
Exactly. You know, your girlfriend fucking decides to call you in the middle of some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You and your girlfriend are having a verbal argument while your boss is going, hey, you're on the phone on company time. What could be more important than doing your job? Oh, your girlfriend can't decide what the fuck she wants to paint the nursery. Okay. And it has to be an argument now because your girlfriend's super emotional and she's vindictive. You and your girlfriend are expecting a kid, and she's going to call you in the middle of work to fight about the color of the nursery. You keep telling her that why don't we just wait until we find out what gender the kid is before we paint the room. She says that you're being gender phobic and that we'll paint the color whatever she wants to paint it because she's the one carrying the kid. But you're the one getting yelled at by your boss and working the hours while she takes time off to be pregnant, which is awesome because honestly, a woman shouldn't have to be on her feet if she's carrying a kid. Let's just be real about it. I'm going to be careful what I say on these videos. I'm going to piss one side or the other off. And your boss, if your boss is a female, you already know how that's going to play out. You're wasting company time and you're wasting her time. If she's in a bad enough mood, you know what she's going to say? You need to side with your wife and get back to work. Excuse me, this is not your relationship. Well, excuse me, this is company time, so we don't want you. Really want to play that argument, you two.
Sooner or later, you're going to have no other choice. You're going to have to hang up on her or get fired. So you take the path.
So in that situation, if you were dumb enough to say, hey, babe, you can call me when I'm at work, call you when I get off, you can take getting fired from your job or avoiding a fight with your girlfriend. Either way, you're getting shot in the foot. But if you don't have a job, it'll be another fight while you can't provide as a typical man, while you can't provide for that household, you piece of shit beta male. So you're like, you know what? I want to get shot in the foot out of the way. I need money to provide for my gal pal and me, so I'll take the fight when I get home. So your boss makes you stay late because you took company time to make a phone call. You get off of work dog ass fucking tired, and your girlfriend is just waiting. She's just waiting for you to get home. So as soon as you get to the door, why'd you hang up on me? And you already know it's going to be a bullshit fight. It's going to make you want to drink. So the first thing you do is walk over to the fridge and crack open a cold beer. It's been a long day, and it's going to be a long-ass argument with your gal pal. Why'd you hang up on me? You know the color of the nursery is super important. And you look at her very patiently and say, as soon as I make a suggestion, you tell me I'm wrong and I'm a stupid male, and that my opinion doesn't matter. So then I choose not to express my opinion. Then you tell me, why can't you just open up and be more opinionative? And women are faced with the same crap to some degree. That's what makes being a human so delightful. It's gender relations at its finest.
The least resistance for now. Then you go home for the inevitable explosion. You're gonna get divorced, dude. And I'm so.
The stereotype of you're going to get divorced because you ignored her phone call. Well, then you could very patiently explain to her what I said. It was, well, I'm going to get shot in the foot either way. So if I get shot in the foot by losing my job, I won't be able to provide for you, the goddess of my life. Or I could take the fight when I get home and just be like, you know what? She's going to unload her verbal get crap on me. That's an F for family reference. So, geez. And you're supposed to be understanding, knowing that if she could work, she would. But because she's pregnant, her company is forcing her to take time off. So at the same time, she's also going through pregnancy complications, sore feet, sore back, her tits are sore. She's worried the baby could pop out at any fucking minute, whether she's ready or not. Imagine for 1 second, you're gonna take a fucking shit, and you have to shit for 9 months, and you don't know when it's gonna come out, and it could come out at the worst possible time, fellas. You're about to sleep with the most gorgeous woman of your life, and it's the hottest chick you've ever fucked, and right before you fuck her, you just shit the bed because you've had to shit for 9 months. And she's grossed out and disgusted. Like, I can't believe, you just screwed yourself out of a really hot piece of ass. You'd be mortified and embarrassed. That's only a small fraction of what women feel like when it comes to having to bear children. Knowing that even though the doctor says, oh, guess what, it'll come out in 9 months, doesn't guarantee that it'll sit in there like a good kid and wait 9 months.
Sorry, but you did it to yourself.
Damn, that's some cold shit.
And number 2, and this goes along with one of the original backfire. Next thing you know, you're having a fight with her on the phone while you're getting yelled at by your boss. Sooner or later, you're going to have no other choice. You're going to have to hang up on her or get fired. So you take the path of least resistance for now. Then you go home for the inevitable explosion.
What happens then when the fight you have with your girlfriend starts affecting your work performance? It's just like when trolls on the internet are affecting your real life. You take a break from social media. If your girlfriend starts affecting your work performance in the real world, or boyfriend, whatever, take a break from dating and realize who you are as a person.
You're gonna get divorced, dude. And I'm sorry, but you did it to yourself.
Damn, that's some cold shit.
And number 2, and this goes along with one of the original mistakes, monkey necking. Never, ever tell your woman you find someone else attractive.
Oh, yeah. I gotta take a squirt. I'll be right back. we'll have a conversation about that. And you know what's going to save people on the dating scene is if you think to yourself, I'm not in a rush to get married. You take time to live with each other. You spend a couple of days at her house. She spends a couple of days at your house. If you're getting in a rush to get married because you want to lock, seal, and tie down that piece of ass of yours, which applies to both genders. Ladies, what's up? But never tell a woman that you think another woman looks more attractive than she does. Even though that women totally check out other dudes and will secretly wish that their dude was more buffed or more ripped or more cut, you have to think,
You're watching a Batman movie and you make the following comment. Catwoman's hot. I'd bend her over and give her my catnip. Next thing you know, you're...
Yep. If you and your female friend are sitting there watching a Batman movie, just hanging out, and without thinking like a knucklehead, you sit there and say, yeah, Catwoman's pretty hot. Your girlfriend's going to feel like, what? I'm not good enough for you? And if you want to get laid or hang out with your girly friend, you just screwed yourself on that one, guy. Even though women totally do the same thing, they see it when their guy friend's not around to be masculinely intimidated, and they see a guy who's got it going on that's way more attractive than their current boyfriend. Women totally do the same thing. Here's the thing of it, though, and this goes for both genders. If they still sleep with you at the end of the day, who fucking cares? They could have better, but they prefer you. And that's kind of what love is about, I would think.
Eat your meatloaf, and you're like, honey, this is a little dry. And she looks at you and goes, why don't you have Catwoman make it for you?
Yeah, those are two big mistakes in relationships in general. If you and your girlfriend are watching a Batman movie and the guy's dumb enough to comment, well, Catwoman looks hot. your girlfriend's gonna feel insecure about the way she looks. And then if your girlfriend's the one who makes the food and you comment that the meatloaf's a little bit dry, she's gonna be like, oh, this motherfucker, and then she's gonna hate you. This is why I say that couples should cook food together. So if you both make a crappy meal that turns out like shit, you can laugh at each other instead of laughing at one person or the other. And then you order like DoorDash or takeout or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It could be a week later or 10 years later. She will never forget you said that.
And that is the fucking truth, ladies. I hate to say it, but that is the truth. Women have this inability, this unnatural human ability to hold a fucking grudge. Her best frenemy wore the same goddamn dress she wanted to wear to prom, and because some people commented she looked better wearing it, she fucking feels personally victimized and like her best frenemy is a total bitch and blah, 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 blah. Oh, but 10 years later, they're still the bestest of friends. That's the kind of psycho crap that women do that men are sitting there going, okay, wait a minute. As a man, I go, if a dude had a faster car than me that was louder and more obnoxious and I hated him for it, I would not be friends with him. I would simply acknowledge, you know what, you got a nice car, bro. And I leave it at that. I would not personally be friends with him. If I dislike someone, why be friends with them? This is some shit that women do that just doesn't make sense. Well, oh, you're just autistic. You don't get it. No, I really don't get it, despite the autism. Like, why? It's like these people who hate on my videos. You're going to spend all day, every day, talking wicked shit about my videos. But if you hate me so much, why the fuck are you watching? Because you can't help it. You just can't help yourselves, can you?
And you put your own ammo in the fight bank. But this is not as bad as it can get. If your woman has a sister, especially a younger sister, and it doesn't matter how hot she is, you keep that shit to yourself. You make...
Yeah, that's just solid advice. If your woman has a sister who's younger and way more attractive, regardless if she's attractive or not, you keep that shit to yourself. If you say that her younger sister's more attractive, she will get pissed and say you're a typical male pig. If you try to please her and say, oh no, honey, you're the prettier sister, even though you're giving your woman a compliment, she'll twist it into, why are you attacking my sister, you asshole? And then she'll tell you that, you know, I talked to you about how the younger sister has confidence issues, etc., blah, 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 you piece of shit. But then at the same time, she still wants to feel prettier than her sister because, women are catty like that.
Make the mistake of saying her baby sister has a nice dumper. Guess who's getting the boiling oil surprise that night?
Yeah. And this is the thing of it, dude. Even if you think her hot younger sister's got a nice ass or a nicer set of boobs, you don't say it. And even if your girlfriend says, what do you think of my younger sister's new top? She could be, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of trickery that women pull. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're sitting there having lunch with your girlfriend at you and your wife's house, whatever, and her younger sister comes over and says she went on a shopping spree, and your girlfriend is testing you with that crap. So, like, hey, my sister just got a new top. What do you think? And if you say it looks good, if you like it, that's all that matters. That's the most neutral way to say it. You know what I'm saying? She cannot, if she tries to say anything like, oh, what, she's more hotter than me? No. If you say, what, you think she's an ugly slut? You're a piece of shit male. And it's like, stop. A lot of men and women in that circumstance would feel damned if they do, damned if they don't. Even if you're not dating the person. Oh, shit.
Take my advice, gentlemen. After you're done with your stint in the emergency room, pack your shit and leave. And speaking of dwelling places, that leads us to the next two on the list. Number 3, you give her the keys to your place.
No. Fellas, no. Fellas, never, ever give her the keys to your place. Now, if you've been in a solid relationship and you're married to the woman for like 4 years, you two have kids together and you give her the keys, that's one thing. But you're so desperate to lock, sink, and secure that pussy that you're like, hey, what's the big deal? You simp for her and give her the keys to your place. No, that is your domain. Do not let the lust for wanting of each pussy control your life. That's when pussy becomes a drug because men are doing stupid shit to get it.
What could go wrong? You gave those keys to her for emergency purposes. Oh.
Yeah, what could go wrong, he says. You're out of town for like 6 days for a business trip, and, you know, your woman needs a house to fuck the man she's seeing on the side. Doesn't want to do it at her house because she might get caught. So, your simp ass is paying for it. I farted, excuse me, smell like Asperger's. And fellas, if you had some of the privileges that women had, there are some men out there who would abuse that privilege. But then you want a bitch when the other side does it. Well, ain't that a bitch?
Only, but what they're actually used for is surprise visits or going through your shit with a fine-tooth comb when you're out of town.
Exactly. Surprise visits like, oh, hey, guess what? You're not the baby daddy. They are. Dun, dun, dun. Or better yet, they don't trust you, so everything is being examined. If you're in the kind of relationship where you cannot trust someone else to go out of town for 4 days without them digging through your shit, or without them being like, oh, I hope, you know what I'm saying? That's not a healthy relationship. Oh, excuse me.
The first couple of times you come back from out of town to a spotless house or apartment, you're going to think, wow, this is great. But while she was cleaning everything up for you, she was doing some kind of things.
Yeah, exactly my point. If she's cleaning your place while you're gone, you may come back and find that none of your shit was taken. Your place is spotless, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, this is fantastic. You found the woman of your dreams. But for all you know, she could be combing through your shit. Yep.
When she made your...
And to be fair, if you have nothing to hide, then you shouldn't care, but you shouldn't care kind of thing. If you have nothing to hide, then you shouldn't care if your woman's combing through your shit. But at the same time, if you try combing through her shit, she would look at you like, what the fuck are you doing? You gotta love how women can just demand to see your cell phone. What have you been doing? And who have you been seeing with? As soon as you ask her that, she's like, no, you can't see it.
From bed to military standards and was folding those sheets, she was looking for additional different colored hairs. While she was dusting off your computer and cleaning the screen, she was actually checking it for orange pay and not the stuff you actually find on the internet. And if she actually found any sooner or later, you're going to find out. Or number 4, you actually move in to her place. What are you, stupid?
Okay. Not gonna lie, I bought a 6-pack of Angry Orchard. And, yeah. You make the mistake of moving into her place. And why is it always her place? Why can't it be your place? This is the problem with both genders who both want control and easy to deal with dominance. Both women and men want control and dominance, and as soon as they get what they want, they're unhappy with it. You get a woman who literally finds the perfect guy. He's submissive, does what she wants. You know what I'm saying? She's happy with him at first, but then after a while, she gets sick of it because he won't take charge and be a man. You know what I'm saying? So she gets bored with him, but then she gets a man who tries to take control over everything. And at first she's like, okay, he's more assertive, but he's way too aggressive. And then she's unhappy. And then as soon as she finds a man who can establish a balance, she's happy all around. That's what it comes down to, man.
Don't answer that. We already know that you are. You move into her place, it never becomes our place. Eh?
Nope. And the same can be said for her. You know, it never becomes your place or her place, regardless of who you're moving into. If you move into her place or she moves into your place, it never becomes your or hers entirely. It becomes mainly whoever's paying the bills. And whether you like it or not, that's just part of the cycle of life.
Any decorating suggestions that you have, they're getting shot down like German fighter pilots. And honestly, this is actually a good thing because one of the original classic mistakes men make is thinking we can actually decorate because we can't. What?
That's a gender-based stereotype that men cannot decorate. I think they can. Just depends on your personal taste. But if you and your girlfriend have different taste in what decoration really is, then unfortunately you're never going to see eye to eye. It's always going to be, oh, men can't decorate. If you're the kind of guy who likes army stuff, you're a vet, you know, you're going to have American flags and veteran and army stuff up on your walls. But if your female friend is a peace-loving woman, she's going to have things like hippie symbols and anti-war and make love, not war, that kind of thing. So it's going to clash. And that's just how it is with relationships.
It's in the corner. Boxes of equipment. Some nude sketches from years back on the wall. A decorator you do not make. Number 5, and this is actually important if you live together, keeping no password on your...
The idea that if a man decorated his living space, it would be of hot chicks and, you know, he could have a chick that's naked, but it's tasteful. It's a difference. Oof. Ripping some ass.
phone and computer. And you leave your phone laying around. So you set it down and go to the shower. It's open season on your...
Yep, never leave. Never give your boyfriend / girlfriend your freaking phone password. There were two sides to this argument. One, if you're trying to peep over someone's shoulder to see how they log into their phone, you don't trust them. And two, if you're trying to hide that shit, you have something to hide.
For shit. They'll still find stuff that you're hiding, even if you're not hiding anything. But just because she has the right to go through your shit because you're committed, that does not mean that you have the right to go through her stuff. Don't believe me?
You know, Terrence Pop can be an asshole, but that's the truth. Women will sit there and make this complex argument of, you're in a committed relationship, so I should be allowed to go through your shit, whether you like it or not. All of a sudden, your girlfriend is going through all your Facebook posts, all your Instagram likes. But if you try to go through her shit, It's not a commitment issue. It's, oh, you have trust issues. You're a typical male. Women find this way to pin it on men, and it's brilliant how manipulative they're able to do it. To be fair, on women's behalf, there are some men who are real pieces of shit, and both sides of that argument contribute to the problems we have with the dating scene today.
Just ask.
No, you don't get to see my phone. Unlike some people around here, you can trust me.
Yeah, and that's the fucking bitch of it, is when you got women who are saying, hey, I want to see your phone. I don't trust you. I don't think you're being faithful. But as soon as you ask the same question as a man, you're automatically told you're an untrustworthy piece of shit. And I'm like, that shit goes both ways. And this applies to both genders. If you would not like it happening to you, why would you let your other half get away with it / do it?
Ladies, I'm going to be straight up with you. You go through your dude's phone, but deny him access to yours, guess who's going to be gone? There's no such...
I hate to say it, but that's the truth. To be fair, this is a trust issue that women and men have with each other. If you have to encounter women and men who didn't trust you or the communications you were texting, and you experienced people who are just like you with the trust issues, you would find, holy shit, this is what I look like from the opposite perspective, and you don't like it, and you secretly hate the person you're dating because of it. Irony in a nutshell.
thing is rules for thee and not for me in a relationship.
And exactly my point. If you're in a relationship and she's allowed to go through your phone, but you're not allowed to go through hers, that shit ain't gonna last too long. That dude's gonna be like, this chick is way too paranoid. And like, it depends on how the other side plays it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if one dude says he's not going to be a typical piece of shit and try to be good with this relationship, and then, oh, in the irony, he encounters a chick who don't trust him, he's going to think, I want to go back to my old ways because this bitch don't trust me. And then that's just how it plays out. It's just unfair, but that's how it is.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You don't like it? Take it on the heels. But I know there's some dude.
Just because it's good for you temporary doesn't mean it'll be good for you a long time. You may find someone you can cuddle with and fuck, and it's the best dick / pussy, whatever you're into, that you fucked. Doesn't mean it's going to be good for you. At the end of the day, you could always find someone better. But sometimes it takes longer. It's kind of like when you're stuck with a crappy job. So you stick with that job till you find something better. Dating's no different. And here's the thing of it. If you literally say to yourself, I'm sick and tired of the other half, blah, 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 you're probably doing the same shit.
Dudes out there that have nothing to hide. Yeah, right. Space Ghost is out. Now, these guys are wondering,
Pop, why do I need to have a password on my computer and phone?
well, some of us, I'm not going to say who, might have incriminating photos and video from our past. Number 6, do not keep these incriminating pictures and videos on a computer that you're using. Because even if you have a password, sooner or later, they're going to figure that shit out. And when they finally do,
Yeah, if you have pictures of your ex on a computer, just get rid of them. That doesn't look good on you. If your new girlfriend's sending you nudes, she's going to be like, why the fuck do you still have pictures of this other woman?
when they're sifting through all of that craziness, get ready for the roller coaster because it's going to blow up in your face. And hopefully she doesn't see those pictures with you blowing up in someone else's face. Oh, Space Ghost is on.
Sensei Migtao calls that Bukaki. Screen 5.
Because you know what's going to happen. If she finds those pictures or video, you're going to get the following speech.
If you really love me, I should be enough. Wait, shut.
Well, it's the same argument for men. If you really love me, then I should be enough. At the end of the day, men want to sit there and say that they should be allowed to have their carnalistic instincts for a certain type of women without it being offensive or, oh, hey, you're still fucking the person you're with at the end of the day. It's just harmless. But you have to understand it from the woman's perspective. If a woman comes into the man cave where she sees you and your guy friends spending most of their time, and on top of that, she sees a chick in a bikini who looks 4 times better than she does, she's going to feel a bit insecure about her looks. And fellas, it'd be no different if your woman had some Mr. February fireman calendar posted up on the wall. The dude was more ripped than you, had way bigger muscles. You would feel demasculated. In the back of your mind, you'd be going, I know she's thinking of me when she fucks me. No, wait. No, she's thinking of that asshole when she fucks me. Our love isn't pure. And then you can't sit there and bitch about the cause when you contribute to it. That's all I'm saying.
Shut up! Bottom line, I worked my ass off for that material, and I'm not going to throw away any of that hard work for anyone. Well, if you didn't want to see me going balls deep in all-you-can-eat Asian buffet, you probably should have not went through my computer. Speaking of incriminating evidence,
And this is where it gets really crappy. If you allow your girlfriend/boyfriend access to your personal technology, they can take videos that you've made or photos that you've taken for other people and release it to the internet and use it to fuck with you. That cute chick you met in college, you had a fling with her that lasted 8 months. All your friends are sitting there going, she's way the fuck out of your league, bro. I don't know how the fuck you're pulling that shit. She gets a picture of your tiny ass dick and spams it all over the college campus. And every chick that you're trying to get with is looking at you and laughing, going, and she spins the story to say that you're the piece of shit, even though you're trying to spin the story saying she's the piece of shit. But whose side do you think they're really going to take? On top of that, you know what I'm saying? Men do this crap too. Like, oh, hey, the chick I was dating, look how tiny her boobs really are. And even though it's not what you're into, as a guy, you're just like, hey, bro, you should send that to me. Because men are pigs like that. Like, oh, hey, that's the dude my guy dated. She was hot enough for him. Damn, she's hot enough for me. I don't know how that works out. And you're sitting there trying to have a conversation with the chick, and she goes, oh, wait, are you that one dude? And then a picture of your dick shows up, and it's not what she's used to. If it's tinier than what she's used to, she's going to laugh at your dumbass.
On your phone, it leads us right into number 7. And this one is going to become more common in the paradigm that we're in. Do not, I repeat, do not film yourself getting busy or doing other activities ever, because you might be the son of a duly elected president getting dick by the foot. Not only are you putting yourself at risk, personally and professionally, most of you don't know diddly dick about lighting, and it'll be more than just shrinking.
You think to yourself, oh yeah, as a of-age, adult, consenting couple, you think you're going to film yourselves fucking, what's the harm that could come of it? All puns aside, you decide to break up with her, and you're so pissed at each other over the breakup that you share the porno with anybody who will watch. And now there's a video of you and your ex fucking on the internet, so that when your next relationship pops up, your girlfriend's going, okay, so who's this?
You should just say it. I'm no better. I don't know shit about lighting. That's why I have this dude. Winning. If half of you made sex tapes the way you played with your phone, oh yeah, yeah, that looks so good. Yeah, do it deep. Oh yeah. Oh, get out of here. Speaking of hobbies, that leads us into the next one on the list. You give up your hobbies for a piece of slot C because you're grown up now. What the hell is that?
Yeah, men are being told you have to give up your hobbies and make your woman the priority. You should only make her the priority if she's married and you have kids with her, okay? If she's just a girlfriend that you see and date and it's just seeing where it goes kind of thing, and then she shouldn't be your main priority, but she shouldn't be your last. Dakota-style jalapeno, naturally and artificially flavored kettle-cooked chips, industrial strength. Let's see how it do, YouTube. Are these as spicy as they claim to be, or is it just a bunch of BS? Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh, wait. Yep, these kettle cooked chips got a little stank on them. A little bit of heat.
Make no mistake, gentlemen. When a woman asks you what your hobbies are, she doesn't actually care. She wants to.
Again with the gender-based stereotypes. Oh, when your woman asks what your hobbies is, she doesn't care. That's like saying, oh, when a man asks what your hobbies are as a woman, he doesn't care. He just wants to fuck your pussy. Yeah, fuck off.
Size you up, figure out what those hobbies are so she can solve for X and find out how much money you have.
Yeah. That is a stereotype for people with hobbies. You're going to judge a person by how much money they have based off their hobby? Huh. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you're like, you want to be in the hobby, but you just don't got the money to do it. So you do as much of it as you can, kind of thing. Your other half is into guitars. So you're sitting there going, oh, how much is that guitar worth? Maybe the guitar your other half has is only worth like $200. You don't know. And if you're only interested in your other half's hobbies because you want to see how much money they have, then newsflash, you're interested for the wrong reasons. If women are just in it because how much money you got, what are your hobbies? Oh, how much money you spend on that hobby? Okay. Uh-huh. The chips are tasty, and they're definitely spicy. Mm-hmm.
So, you restore classic cars. How many have you done so far? 3? Solving for X. Yes, I'll marry you.
But once you marry that gash, those hobbies out the window because
if you're in a situation where she makes you put your hobbies on hold because she's more important, ladies, how would you feel if it was the other way around? Okay, this man is going to make you put everything on hold for his needs, knowing he wouldn't do the same for you. Ladies, you call that an asshole male. Your girlfriend's hobbies are shoes and makeup, so of course she's going to spend a shit ton of money on it. And you as the guy are sitting there going, well, she's got the kind of money to spend it on these luxurious items. She must be loaded. You think to yourself, why does she need to have this many pairs of shoes and this much makeup? Shouldn't the bare minimum be enough? You'll never understand it. Just like she'll never understand why you restore classic cars. The time you put into making that car look good so that when you drive it out on the streets, people are like, damn, that is pristine. It's the same way why women will take 4+ hours to get ready. You're supposed to meet your fans or your friends or whatever at the bar 10 minutes ago, and your girlfriend is already taking a shit ton of time to get ready. The only reason why it takes women to get ready longer is because women are expected to have more, you know?
You need to use that money for the family.
Fuck everything you thought this life was gonna bring you. Now let's go out there and try to make this bitch happy.
Number 9, and everyone is doing a shot over this one. Don't even argue with me. Your old lady goes 3 sheets to the wind, pulls out the total Biatcha card, and what do? You apologize, and you reinforce that apology with cash and prizes. You are rewarding bad behavior.
I'm not going to argue with you on that because I agree. It's like women who fall for stupid idiot assholes who cheat on them, and then they reward that bad behavior with stupid things like bailing them out of prison, catching them cheating on 2 other fucking dudes or chicks or whatever, and saying to yourself, you're still going to let them back in. If you sacrificed your hobby for them, like let's say your girlfriend got caught cheating on you with 2 other dudes, and then the dumb bitch ended up in prison for being stupid. And let's say you're into restoring classic cars. Would you sacrifice your hobby to bail that cunt out of jail? How much do you love her, though? And that's the thing that makes love. People do stupid shit for love. At the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what's more depressing? Watching these simp males go after women who have no interest in them, or watching women who won't give these simps a chance because they want an asshole, and then they complain about the asshole because he's not what she's looking for. Why, ladies, do you complain about it not being able to find a decent guy when there's one right in front of you? Ooh-wee, YouTube. These chips got a little bit of heat on them. Ooh, that's good. Dakota style jalapeno, naturally and artificially flavored kettle potato chips. Industrial strength. Ugh. They say things to entice your masculinity. It's industrial strength. Are you strong enough to handle it, wuss? Honestly, these are some spicy ass chips. There's enough peppery heat on them to stink up the lips a little bit. My tongue and my lips are a little bit numb. Industrial strength. I love spicy food, but this got a little bit of stink on it, a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? It's spicy enough. Make your sinuses go, you know what I'm saying? But not so spicy that you can't tolerate it. If you're a regular seasoned pepper junkie like myself, you might be able to tolerate it, but if you're someone who's super sensitive to spicy heat, woo, empty. I was taking a sip of the Angry Orchard while I'm chowing down on these jalapeno chips. Ooh. Those are just a little bit mean, YouTube. As far as spicy snacking goes. Yeah. These chips definitely got a little bit of heat on them. It's definitely taking it up there after eating these chips for a minute and just sitting there constantly sipping on some Angry Orchard. Got that sweetness from the apples, and then you just bust into that spicy heat from these chips. It's a real shock for your mouth. They're salty as fudge, and they got a little bit of heat on them. Honestly, these chips are where it's at, man. I would definitely buy these again if I saw them in a store. You get these chips, they're just like, oh, they're spicy, and then you take a couple handfuls, and you're like, you know what I'm saying? But these are actually spicy. Dakota style jalapeno, naturally and artificially flavored kettle potato chips. The industrial strength heat. YouTube. Those are mean, dude. Those got a little bit of bite to them. God damn. I've had Carolina Reapers, mind you. Carolina Reapers are mean. I ate a Carolina Reaper for a YouTube video. I didn't film the reaction I did afterwards, but I was like, oh, hey, YouTube. You know what I'm saying? When I ate a Carolina Reaper on an empty stomach, it was not pretty, dude. I had the massive squirts because I was drinking a shit ton of water after that. It gave me heartburn. I did not feel good after eating a Carolina Reaper pepper on an empty stomach, even if they were slightly dried out. Still, dude. These chips are spicy, you know what I'm saying? It's a snackable heat for me. After you've conquered the Carolina Reaper, anything else after that is just child's play. Then the bastard who creates the Carolina Reaper and makes a pepper that's more spicy. I'm just like, dude. Wait. Damn. Those jalapeno Dakota style chips are good, dude. I like the flavor on it, the crunch from the kettle. It's salty, it's spicy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a bit of a pepper junkie. I like the heat on my food. But if it's so fucking spicy, it just kicks you in the mouth like, you know, like a freaking horse just lifted its like a horse just lifted its back legs up and was like, you know what I'm saying? If the heat's that stupid, it's like, that's just not enjoyable. And that's reasonable for most people. If you can munch out on some jalapenos and you're doing all right, then you could probably handle the heat of those chips. You're talking to the dude who made a spicy-ass bacon cheeseburger. People seen that shit, me and homeboy Scotty taking down a ridiculously hot bacon cheeseburger. I'm like, these are all the hot sauces I got in my fridge. I'm going to combine them into one burger and freaking film it.
With free shit. What are you, some kind of socialist? I didn't think she'd get so mad if I didn't do anything wrong. So I'll.
And the thing about single moms is it sucks, dude. There are pieces of shit men out there who take advantage of that system. And the way men see it, they're like, society doesn't give a fuck about men. Just if we can fix shit, keep our mouth shut, and provide. So because of that, some men use that as an excuse not to be a responsible father. Which is crap, because there are a lot of decent guys out there who are like, you know what? I got this chick pregnant. I got to man up and be responsible. And to the men out there who are man enough to be responsible, but like, you may not like it, but you got that chick pregnant and you're sticking around to raise that kid. I raise this glass of Angry Orchard to you, good sir, because you're showing women out there that decent guys still exist. And when women realize this, then men need to realize that there are still decent women out there. Just, you know.
Show up with flowers and maybe a bracelet so she won't do it again.
Are you out of your mind? If your woman acts like a biatcha and she gets gifts every time, guess what's going to happen? And ladies,
It's the truth. If your woman's acting like a bitch and you give her gifts, it's just like telling a dog, hey, You can go ahead and shit in the house. I don't care. Ladies, you want to argue with me on this, but it's the truth. If your man cheats on you and you still accept him and take him back, you're basically telling your dog, it's okay if you shit in the house. I'll clean it up.
You're not exempt from this. You do this too.
All those dudes you bellyache about in your 30s, those are the same dudes you let spit roast you behind the dumb dumpster in your 20s with little more than a six-pack, a smile, a good pickup line, and spit for lube.
You are not worthy of anyone's respect if you do this. And it doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, or one of the 126 different genders.
When you
Yeah, when you bitch about gender relations but do little to nothing to contribute to making those relations better, then you really have no right to bitch and complain, especially if you're saturating the market by giving the opposite sex exactly what they want while doing nothing to up the value of it.
create your own problem and then whine about it, no one's going to listen to you.
Exactly. If you create your own fucking problem, you bitch about the solution you need to make happen, and you bitch about the problems, but you refuse to do anything to fix it, no one's going to take you seriously. They're going to look at you like, well, if you're bitching about it and you refuse to fix it, not my problem.
Because their fuck rations have officially been depleted.
Number 10, and the last of the relationship mistakes. The first time your old lady tells you to do something without asking or saying please, and you just do it, guess what? You just tip the note.
You allow disrespect because she loves me. And of course, he uses a hot chick to meme that. Exactly. I'm not saying she has to kiss your ass, but good manners make both sides happy. If you're a woman, you know what I'm saying? Like if you said to your woman, hey, woman, grab me a beer, she would look at you like, get it yourself, you sexist, chauvinistic pig. But if you look at your woman and say, hey, babe, could you please grab me a beer from the fridge? She might be more inclined to do it. And women will do this crap where they will say, you know what, I have the pussy, therefore I make the rules kind of thing. And when women think like that, they're just as bad as men who use their money to manipulate women into sex. You think just because you have the money or the pussy or whatever, you can dictate the relationship? It doesn't work like that.
Goes to that aircraft and you're heading all the way.
And she, you know what she starts thinking? If I offer him some pussy on occasion, I could treat him however I want. And you know what, fellas? You're just as bad as women who put up with asshole men because they want some company. You'll put up with shitty women because you want some pussy. And then validate your own self-respect because, hey, at least you're getting laid. Winning and no. You're just as bad as the women who sit there and bitch because their man's an asshole, but they're too scared to go out and find a real man.
Into the scene of the crash. As soon as she realizes she does not have to give you respect and you'll still do stuff, you're fucked in the beginning.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Ladies, if you would not want if you would not reward your man for talking like shit to you and disrespecting you, why expect your man to reward you when you're being a little C-bomb?
You were happy to volunteer. Now you're getting voluntold sooner or later. It doesn't matter what you have going on. You can be at work or at home. It doesn't matter. That phone will ring and she'll say jump, and you'll be like, oh, hi, honey. You love me and you're different. You're not like that. Get out of here. If you want anyone to respect you, you need to learn the value of that simple word known as no.
Yep. If you're going to have any respect on the dating scene as a woman or as a man, you need to learn the respect of no. And women need to learn if no means no for them, then no means no for men without question or without belly aching. Because you know how that is. If you reject a woman for being too fat or maybe she's too opinionated, you're just a typical guy. But if she rejects you for having too many opinions or being too fat, you're the stereotypical asshole. No. Thank you to the fan who ordered the female empowerment shirts. That's what's up. Only go out to my payouts. You have a payout of $10.54 in your Teespring, yes. Start a payout. And how much did I make off that? I made $10 and some odd cents for the payout. And now I made about $9.70 profit from the female empowerment shirts. Sweet. Now, for my lady fans, I made a shirt that says Female Empowerment, Praise the Female Goddess. And on the back, it says strong, sexy, confident, and empowered. Smarts are suggestive to those who apply themselves to learn it. You have some real dumbass guys and some real dumbass women, so smarts is subjective to those who apply them. You want to buy your girlfriend a female empowerment shirts this Valentine's Day? Hoo-hoo, watch out. There we go.
Because if you don't respect yourself, why the hell would anyone else respect you? Now this brings us to the post-breakup mistakes. And in this category, there's really only two. First one, trying to remain friends with your ex.
Oh, where's the angry orchard? There it is. Trying to remain friends with your ex. Admittedly, you don't want to make life difficult. You're worried about how your ex is going to take the breakup, so you try to remain friends with them to keep the peace. Everyone's guilty of it. People are sick and tired of drama, so they do things like, oh, I'm going to stay friends with my ex to try to keep the peace. But when your ex is a total fucking creep and takes advantage of your kindness, you'll be sitting there going, this is why I broke up with them, the fucking pieces of shit that they are.
What are you thinking, man? Anyone who's known you that intimately can never be your friend. Period.
Yeah, anyone who's been your friend long enough to know your deepest, darkest secrets cannot be your friend, because if they're bitter about the breakup, they can use that shit against you. And with that being said, I gotta take a piss. Whoa, look out.
especially if they're on their period. Now, you might be thinking, well,
Wait, what?
oh, why the hell would anyone else respect you? Now, this brings us to the post-breakup mistakes. And in this category, there's really only two. First one, trying to remain friends with your ex. What are you thinking, man? Anyone who's known you that intimately can never be your friend, period. Especially if they're on their period. Now, you might be thinking, well, for the kid.
Says the gender who's never had to experience it.
Kids, we should be friends. No, there's a big difference between friends and civility. Those things are not mutually exclusive and they don't need to exist together. And that brings us to number two. And everyone has done this. Men, women, it doesn't matter. You get divorced, you break up, a couple of years go by, maybe some failed relationships, and in your sick and twisted brain pan, you start saying, well, she wasn't that bad. Get out of here. Do not romanticize your ex.
Romanticizing your ex. When you, as a person, become so used to being treated a certain way, and don't bullshit me, women and men do this crap, you will sacrifice your own happiness just to say you're not alone. You'll be happy with whoever will take you because, hey, you don't want to be alone. And society puts too much pressure on people today. The first chick that'll fuck your dick and the first dude that'll hand you a ring, you don't care as long as you're not alone. Okay, no. But then when you start experiencing people who were more shitty than your ex, you'll start going, hey, you know what? My ex wasn't as bad. Stop that. Break that behavior pattern. Stop dating pieces of shit and date real people. I know that's going to be hard because a lot of pieces of shit will play the biggest coy game they can. Hand you some fake compliments and then they turn out to be the biggest piece of shit on the planet.
Because that is setting your own death trap. Because if you're always looking back, guess what? You're not looking. You're going to smash your life up bad. Just.
Yeah, if you're too focused on your exes and not looking forward, you're going to miss out on good opportunity that comes your way.
Remember, your ex is an ex for a reason. It doesn't matter who broke up with who, or who was more hurt, or who touched someone else's dick or pussy. It is what it is. Bottom line is simply this. It is over, and it should stay that way. And that brings us to the last one on this list, and it does not belong to any category. Not checking news sources for gay cruise ads. That is for the dudes who watch the live streams. You are gentlemen and scholars.
Who would have thought such a stupid oversight would lead to a months-long running gag?
But in the end, is that not true of everything on this list? Now listen, we can laugh about it now because we're past all this stuff. At least I hope we are. But once upon...
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Upon a time, if somebody told me all this shit, it would piss me off. The most expensive thing you will ever buy in your life is wisdom. And the currency is pain. That's
some shit that'll make you think the most expensive thing you'll buy in life is wisdom. and your cost, time, and pain. Hey. Yeah.
Why it is so damn important to laugh at this, gentleman. Because laughter is the best medicine against pain, misery, and stupidity. And the first step to recovery is admitting you have a problem. With that being said, I'm going to say this to the 15 chicks who have nothing better to do than downvote all my videos. I do not have a drinking problem. I have problems, so I drink. You might not see the difference, but I wasn't asking your opinion. I am done with you. Go away.
The reason your hair is thinning has been your shampoo? No matter what hair growth products you use, your thinning hair isn't improving.
That is the bigger question, YouTube. Is I do not have a drinking problem. I have problems, therefore I drink. And if people cannot see the difference, I kind of agree with that. Because everyone has a vice to some degree. You know, just because painting doesn't cause liver failure and addiction, you got someone who sits there and says, oh, whenever they're stressed or depressed, they just paint a picture and everything goes away. It doesn't make you better than everyone else. It just means you have a vice like everyone else. Thank you for watching the video. And we're going to work on vocals, man. Alright, so we're gonna have to layer some vocals. I did get a good amount of vocals layered on this fucking album of mine, and it's starting to kick ass. The vocals are harmonized the way I want. I'm kind of just going with inspiration, being like something's telling me to add power metal to this or add demon vocals to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going with it and seeing how it sounds, and so far it sounds pretty good. Love and vanity. Yeah. I clicked on the wrong track. Let's do it up here, man. Love and vanity. Not quite. Love and vanity. Love, yeah, it's fine. Love and vanity. 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 And then you mute the top tracks, go down to here. Love and vanity. Love and vanity. Right on the money. Now we. Love and vanity. Love and vanity. Both genders are guilty. Both are guilty. Both genders are guilty. Both genders are guilty. Both genders are guilty. Both genders. Both genders are guilty. 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 I'm a little bit closer with it. Both genders are guilty. Both genders are guilty. Both genders are guilty. You get the black metal vocals layered with the demonic vocals. Both genders are guilty. Both genders are victims. 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 All genders are victims. Both genders are victims. A little bit closer. All genders are victims. All genders are victims. Both genders are victims. A little closer. Both genders are victims. All genders are victims. Both genders are victims. Both genders are victims. All genders are victims. Both genders are victims. Both genders are victims. Yes. Both genders are victims. Both genders are victims. Both genders are victims. Not quite. Both genders are victims. Both genders are victims. Both genders are victims. Both genders are Both genders are victims. 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 That sounds pretty sick. I want to save as. Both genders are victims. Both genders are victims. Both genders. It's not letting me unhighlight certain pieces. I'll have to quit out of GarageBand while I'm doing this live video for now. Come back at those vocals later. Another layer, please. Well, we'll see what we can do. I'll get a couple more layers going. Let me just restart GarageBand real quick. Both genders are victims. Both genders are victims. Both genders are victims. Both genders have privilege. Both genders. Both genders have privilege. Both genders have privilege. Both genders have privilege. Both genders have privilege. Got gender relations rant. Now we got vocal layers on top of it. Both genders have privilege. Nope. Both genders have privilege. Both genders have
privilege. Both genders have privilege.
Not quite. Both genders have privilege. Both genders have privilege.
Both genders have privilege.
Almost, man. Both genders have privilege. Both genders
have privilege. Both genders have privilege.
Nope. Both genders have privilege. Both genders
have privilege. Both genders have privilege. Both genders have privilege.
Both genders have privilege. Both genders have
privilege. Both genders.
Both genders have privilege. Both genders
have privilege. Both genders have privilege. Both genders have privilege.
Yep. Both genders have privilege. 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 Both genders have privilege.
Both genders have privilege. Both genders.
Both genders have privilege. Both genders have privilege. Both genders
have privilege. Both genders have privilege. Both genders have privilege. Both genders have privilege. Both genders have privilege. Both genders have privilege. Both genders use each other. Both genders use each other. Both genders use each other. Both genders.
Both genders use each other. Both genders use
each other. Both genders use each other. Both.
Yes. Both genders use each other. Both genders use each other. Both genders use each other. Yes. Both genders use each other. Both genders use each other.
Both genders use each other. Both genders use each other. Both genders use each other. Both genders use each other. Both genders abuse each other. Abuse. Both genders abuse each other. Both genders abuse each other. Both genders abuse each other.
Both genders abuse each other. Both genders
Abuse each other. Both genders abuse each other.
Yes. Both genders abuse each other. Both genders abuse each other. Both genders abuse each other.
Both genders abuse each other. Both genders abuse each other. Both genders hate each other. Both genders hate each other.
Both genders hate each other. Both genders
Hate each other. Both genders hate each other. Both genders hate each other. Both
genders hate each other. Both genders hate each other. Both genders hate each other. Both genders hate each other.
Both genders hate each other. Both genders are depressed. Depressed. Both genders are depressed. Both genders are depressed. Both genders are depressed. Both genders are depressed. Both
genders are depressed. Both genders are depressed. Both genders are
depressed. Both genders are depressed.
Both genders are depressed. Both
genders are depressed. Both genders are depressed.
Both genders are depressed. Both
genders are depressed. Both genders are depressed. both genders.
Both genders are depressed.
Both genders are depressed.
Both genders are depressed. Both genders are depressed.
Both genders. Both genders are depressed.
Both genders
genders are depressed. Both genders are depressed. Both genders are depressed. Both genders are depressed.
Both genders are depressed.
Both genders
are depressed. Both genders are depressed.
Yes. Both genders. Both genders are depressed. Both genders are depressed.
Both genders are depressed. Both genders are depressed. Both genders are both genders are oppressed. Both genders are oppressed. Both genders are oppressed. Both genders are oppressed.
Both genders are oppressed.
Both genders
are oppressed. Both genders are oppressed.
Both genders are oppressed. Both genders are oppressed.
Both genders are oppressed. Love. Love and vanity. Under love and vanity. Love and vanity. Love.
Love and vanity.
Love and
vanity. Love and vanity.
Love and vanity. Love and vanity.
Love and vanity. Love
love and fantasy. Love and fantasy. Underneath all this skin, we're all just bone. 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 Underneath all this skin, we're just bone. Underneath all this skin. Underneath all this skin, we're just bone. Underneath all this skin, we're all just bone. Underneath all this skin, we're just bone. Underneath all this skin, we're all just bone. Underneath all this skin, we're just bone. Underneath all this skin, we're all just bone. Underneath all this skin, we're all just bone. Underneath all. Underneath all this skin, we're just bone. Underneath all this skin, we're all just bone. Underneath, not quite. Underneath all this skin, we're just bone. Underneath all this skin, we're all just bone. Underneath all this skin, we're all just. Underneath all this skin, we're all just bone. Underneath all. Underneath all this skin, we're all just bone. Almost 9 o'clock. Underneath. Underneath
Underneath all this skin, we're just bone. Underneath
all this skin, we're all just bone.
Not quite. Underneath all this skin, we're just bone. Underneath
all this skin, we're all just bone.
We're just versus all, we're just. Excuse me. Underneath all this skin, we're all just bone. Ugh, God damn it. God damn it, dude. I tried to fucking record some GarageBand on our own rip ass while doing it. Nope. Underneath all this skin, we're just bone. Underneath
all this skin, we're all just.
I'm gonna try it again. Underneath all this skin, we're just bone. Underneath
all this skin, we're.
Underneath all this skin, we're all just bone. Underneath all this skin, we're
all just bone.
Ugh.
Underneath.
I want to go ahead and save the progress that we have right here. 3-hour stream, that's ridiculous. We got a gender relations rant and video working on the freaking vocals. Excuse me. I farted and that smells like gender equality because gender equality stinks for both sides. Both sides have to acknowledge an uncomfortable truth. Got a lot of vocal work done on that new song. It'll be done soon enough. Thank you for watching me record vocals and do a gender rant. I do appreciate it. Once I get enough money to spare, I might order a DoorDash and do a food challenge for YouTube. Meantime, no. The whole song is not done yet. That's the fun of watching me record it on video, is little snippets at a time, and then you hear the whole thing. I might lay down some rhymes maybe in the next video. We'll see how I'm feeling. I don't have to do anything you people say. I appreciate the fans more than you'll ever know. Who was your lady friend on the Facebook post, Cobes? What's up, Parker Jackson? Don't worry about it. Let's just say that Cobras can get girls when he gets girls, even if they're not fucking him or not, as long as they're of age and they're digging Cobra style. Who cares? As long as they're clean, for that matter. Well, you don't need to know about the chicks that I hang out with. You know what I'm saying? That's what gets me about my trolls/fans, is they think just because I post a picture with a hot chick on Facebook, I gotta know every detail about Cobra's life now. What happened? Who is she? That's none of your business. Honestly, if the dry spell was over, I wouldn't tell you shit. Because a true gentleman never kisses and tells. You know what I'm saying? Let the people talk shit. They're gonna talk shit all they want to talk. I don't care. Sure, Link. Booyaka. I just decided not to reveal all of my personal life on YouTube so much as I used to. Which sucks for a lot of my older fans because they're so used to me being blunt and blatantly honest with it. But you start having more fascination about my life over your own life. That's when it becomes unhealthy. And if you'd like to contribute to the channel, you don't want to buy a t-shirt. I don't have monetization, so that link will do it just nicely. You don't have to, but it's greatly appreciated. It's Monday. Go out there and make it happen for yourselves. I got the vocals done for Love and Vanity, the first song. Pretty far today. Tomorrow I might finish it. We'll see what happens. There's no guarantee my new album will get done before Valentine's Day, but it will get done. It is my next album, nonetheless. I mean, Love and Vanity. Yes. I like the way that album title sounds. Speaks high volume for the crazy shit in our society. It's okay if you have standards, just don't be a dick about it. And at the end of the day, we're all just bones underneath skin. That's the main message for the new album. And people will hear it and be like, this album sucks. Or they'll hear it and be like, Cobra, you kick ass, you know? Music is subject to people who are fucking offended. Anyways, YouTube, thank you for watching the video. I'll catch you later.